The car pulled up to the curb, its tires crunching softly on the gravel. The neighborhood looked almost exactly as she remembered, quiet, sun-dappled, and lined with the same old trees. For a moment, time seemed to pause, as if the world was holding its breath for her return. Sofia looked out the window at the house she grew up in, its white siding and blue shutters unchanged, yet everything inside her felt different. The sight of her childhood home brought a rush of emotions, nostalgia, longing, and a hint of fear. Her heart pounded as she stepped onto the familiar pavement, the air thick with memories that seemed to swirl around her like a gentle breeze. The old oak tree still stood tall in the front yard, its branches reaching out like welcoming arms. The porch swing creaked softly in the wind, just as it had when she was a child. Every little detail, the chipped paint on the railing, the worn welcome mat, seemed smaller now, but each was heavy with meaning, carrying echoes of laughter and whispered secrets from years gone by. She realized she was no longer just the girl with big dreams and wide eyes. She was someone changed by the world, shaped by experiences both joyful and painful. Here, she wasn't a star or a public figure, just Sofia, stripped of all the layers she'd built up. In this place, she was simply a daughter, a sister, a person with hopes and fears she'd carried for years. Each step up the path felt like a journey back in time, every footfall stirring up echoes of childhood games and family gatherings. The scent of cut grass and blooming flowers filled the air, mingling with the memories that clung to every corner. She wondered if her family would notice the changes in her, the ones that went deeper than fame or success, the quiet ways she had grown and the scars she now carried. Home was supposed to be an anchor, a place to return to when the world felt overwhelming. She hoped it could be that for her again. Her hand hovered over the doorknob, trembling slightly as she hesitated. The moment felt suspended in time, both achingly familiar and entirely new, as if she were meeting an old friend after years apart. With a steadying breath, she turned the knob and stepped inside, crossing the threshold with a mix of anticipation and vulnerability. She was ready to face whatever waited on the other side, ready to come home, not just to the house, but to herself, and to the person she was always meant to be. The moment Sofia stepped through the doorway, a wave of memories washed over her, more sensation than thought, as if the house itself breathed with echoes of her past. The familiar scent of her mother's cooking lingered in the air, mingling with the faint aroma of old wood and sun-warmed dust. Her fingers traced the worn doorframe, feeling the grooves where pencil lines marked her childhood growth, and her eyes drifted to the scuff marks on the floor, each one a silent testament to years of laughter, play, and growing pains. In the living room, the old upright piano stood quietly in its corner, bathed in gentle light from the window. It seemed to call to her, a silent witness to her earliest dreams and the soundtrack of her family's life. She let her hands rest on the keys, recalling the joy and frustration of learning music at her mother's side. Each note she remembered was a thread connecting her to moments of triumph and tears, to the lessons that shaped her resilience. Her family's love was her foundation, a source of strength that held her up even when she felt overwhelmed. Yet within that embrace, she also felt the weight of expectations, the exhaustion and pressure she tried so hard to hide from those she loved most. As she flipped through old photo albums, Sofia saw a younger version of herself, a girl full of hope, innocence, and boundless curiosity. The images captured moments of pure joy, frozen in time, reminding her of dreams she once held close. These memories grounded her, anchoring her to her roots, but they also stirred questions deep within. Was that hopeful, fearless girl still inside her, or had she faded with the years and the challenges of growing up? Sofia realized she needed to reconnect with that part of herself, the part that believed anything was possible, that dared to dream without fear or hesitation. Home was more than just a place. It was a living reminder of her roots, her beginnings, and the journey that had shaped her into who she was now. The past offered both comfort and challenge, a safe haven to return to, but also a mirror reflecting how far she'd come and how much she still longed to rediscover. To move forward, Sofia knew she had to rediscover the girl she used to be, to embrace her old dreams and let them guide her once more. And with a deep breath, she found the courage to let that girl out again, ready to face the world with hope and determination. Coming home meant facing more than nostalgia. It meant confronting the hard truths. The pressure to be perfect never left her, even here. She felt the gap between her world and her family's, a quiet distance built by time and experience. She longed to belong again, not just visit. The hardest part was finding her own voice, the one lost beneath expectations and noise. Admitting she was struggling felt like failure, so she kept it inside. But the weight was crushing. She realized the real challenge wasn't fame or work. It was the emotional wall she'd built. To heal, she'd have to let it down. Vulnerability was terrifying but necessary. She wanted to be seen for who she truly was, and she knew only she could make that happen. Breakthrough came quietly, in small moments, gentle shifts that at first seemed almost invisible, but slowly changed everything. It wasn't a single dramatic event, but a series of soft awakenings that began to reshape her days. One afternoon, she sat at the old piano, letting her fingers wander across the keys. She played not for an audience, not for applause, but simply for herself, for the comfort and familiarity of the music she loved. The music became a release, a conversation with her soul. Each note carried away a little of her pain, and in its place left a sense of peace she hadn't felt in a long time. She remembered why she loved it in the first place: the joy, the freedom, the way music could express what words never could. Later, a late-night talk with her sister on the porch swing brought tears and honesty. Under the quiet night sky, they shared stories and secrets, letting their guards down. Her sister listened, held her hand, and Sofia felt relief. She wasn't alone. In that embrace, she found comfort and the courage to open up about her fears. Simple acts, helping in the kitchen, walking in the park, reconnecting with friends, grounded her. These everyday moments reminded her of the beauty in ordinary life and how connection could heal. She realized her identity was more than being a performer. It was about being a daughter, a sister, a friend. The people who loved her saw her for who she truly was, beyond any stage or spotlight. Healing wasn't about fighting, but accepting her vulnerability. She learned to sit with her feelings, to let herself be soft, and to trust that it was okay to not have all the answers. True strength was honesty, with herself and those she loved. Each time she spoke her truth, she felt a little lighter, a little more whole. Each honest moment was a step toward finding herself again. Through journaling, reflection, and gentle self-acceptance, she began to see her own worth. Slowly, she rediscovered her own melody. The music returned, not as a duty, but as a gift, a reminder of her resilience and hope. And it was more beautiful than ever, echoing with the strength and softness she had found within herself. Sofia's journey home taught her the power of vulnerability. She learned that real strength comes from being open about struggles, not hiding them. Sharing her feelings deepened her relationships and made her stronger. She redefined success, not as fame but as peace of mind and connection. The simple joys mattered more than any award. She realized she could protect her well-being and still pursue her dreams. Her voice, both in music and in life, grew stronger and more authentic. She learned to set boundaries and prioritize her mental health. The journey home was a reset, a chance to recalibrate and remember her roots. She left more grounded, self-aware, and in control of her story. The girl with big dreams was still there, now guided by wisdom. As Sofia prepared to leave again, she felt light and clear. She wasn't running from the quiet, she was taking it with her. The pressures of her career remained, but she had new tools: her family's love, her music, her true voice. She hoped to create music that was honest and connect with others through her story. She wanted to stand for resilience and authenticity. She promised to keep her balance, to make time for what mattered. Home was now a feeling she could carry anywhere. As she drove away, the house faded, but the feeling grew stronger. This was a new beginning, a chapter she'd write on her own terms. The journey had led her back to herself, and that was the greatest destination of all.